Yeah, hi all. Good evening, everyone. In this session, we are going to discuss about collections framework. So before discussing about collection framework, we need to discuss other one, that is arrays, how the arrays will use and what's the disadvantages in arrays, and why the Java vendor introduced the collections concept. So I have created one class, that is array test. My class is array test. So in this class, I'm creating one variable, that is int a equal 10. Int a equal 10. So this is the variable I have created. Now what I'm trying to do here is, a variable can hold the value. A variable can hold the value. Now the value of a is 10. So when I print it, here I am printing the a. So when I print a, so what will be the value? What will be the output? Yes, you can exactly say that is the output will be 10. Now what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to add multiple values for same variable. So I already assigned 10. Now I am assigning 20 and 30 and 50. So when I assign, see, is a compile time error, that is type mismatch, cannot convert from this. So a variable can hold only one value. It cannot hold more than one value. It can hold only one value. It cannot hold more than one value. Now, I want a variable has to hold multiple values. So, if my variable has to hold multiple values, then then it must be a array. It must be a array. What's the array? Array variable can hold, an array can hold multiple values. So now I will change this variable as array. See how I can change this variable as array is the syntax for an array. After this data type, you need to specify this is the symbol, and then all these values has to be surrounded by flower brackets. Now the a value has 10, 20, 30 and 50. So this is an array. This is an array. A is an array now. So an array variable can hold multiple values. Multiple values. How it can stored? It's stored in index based. It's stored in index based. So here 10 is the 0 index, 20 is the first index, 30 is the second index, and 50 is the third index. So it store based on index. So the arrays always store based on index. The index will start from 0. The index will start from 0. So this is the syntax to define an array variable. An array variable. So now if I try to print this, if I try to print this variable, so here there are multiple data elements, not one element. Here there are multiple data elements. So if you want to print these multiple data elements, then we must use a for loop to print these all the values. In case if you do not use a for loop, yes, the array object will print. How it will print? The array object is, it print like this. So I at 15db9742. This is the array A object. So by this statement, what could you understand by this statement is, if you want to store, if you want a variable has to store, if a variable has to store multiple values, then we must use the array. Array is for holding multiple data elements. So it can hold multiple values, but it can hold only homogeneous values. It's nothing but the similar type values can hold. It cannot hold other types. For example, I can hold 10, 20, 30, 50, whatever, all the numeric values it can hold. In case if I try to assign any string data element, then immediately it will throw and compile time error. See. Now, yeah. So then immediately will throw and compile time error. That is, type mismatch cannot convert from string to int. This is the string. The variable type is int. So we cannot convert this from string to int. So it can hold only similar data type values. It cannot hold other data type value. It's a homogeneous values. It can hold the homogeneous values. So if you try to assign some other type, then it will throw and compile time error. Now if you want to print these all values, then we must use a for loop, that is for is loop. In my for loop, int I equal 0. So initially the I value will be 0, and then this variable has a length. This variable has a length. So I less than a dot length. I less than a dot length. I less. So I will explain you what to do. And then when I run as Java application, a of Java application. Now we'll say 10, 20, 30 and 50. So for printing all these values, I have used a for loop. In this for loop, int I value initially 0, I value initially 0, and then I less than a dot length. It means that this a dot length, a is the array, dot length, so it will give the length of this array, it will give the length of this array. The length of this array is, so how many elements are available in this array, so it will print the length, it will print the length. So in case if you want to see the length of this array, the length of this array, then you can print it here. That is now it will print the length of this array. The length of this array is 4. The length of this array is 4. So now what is the value of this? The value of this is 4. The value of this is 4. And then I plus plus. So initially I value is 0. I value is 0. And then here I less than a dot length. What is the a dot length? A dot length is 4. Here there are 4 elements. So 4. So I value is 0. 0 less than 4. Yes, it's a true. And then it will come. So here I am printing, that is a of I. A of I. So when I am printing the value, so if I print a, so since it is array, it cannot understand, so which index of value has to print. So we need to provide the index. So the index will start from 0. So now I value is 0. So a of 0. It means that the 0th index value wants to print it. So what's the 0th index of value? 10. The 0th index of value is 10. So the 10 is printed. And then since it is in loop, it will keep on repeat it until the condition is failed. So the next again it will go, I value is 0 and then here I plus plus. It means that it will increment by 1. So now the I value is 1. So here it will check this condition. So every time it will check this condition. When it check this condition, a dot length value is 4, I value is 1. 1 less than 4. Yes, it's a true. Then immediately it will come. I value is 1 now. So system.out.println of a of I. So I is the 1. So a of 1. It means that the first index of array value. The first index of array value. So here index is a 0th index is the first index. The first index of value is 20. So then it's printed the 20. Since it is in loop, again it will go and check it the condition. When I check it condition, then again I plus plus. Now I value will be 2. 2 less than 4. Yes, it's a true. Then it will come. It will print a of index 2. Index 2 value is 30. 30 it will print it. Again it will loop. It will check. I value is 2. I plus plus 3. So I value is a 3. 3 less than 4. Yes, 3 is less than 4. So it will print the I value is a 3. So a of 3 is the third index value. The third index value is 50. So the 50 will print. And again it will go. I value is 3 now. I plus plus. I plus plus is 3 plus 1, 4. 4 less than 4? No. Its condition is not satisfied. 4 is not less than 4. 4 is not less than 4. Then immediately, so it doesn't execute this line, it will come out of this loop and then here no lines to execute, and then it will come out of program. It's terminate the program. This is what happens. So if our variable has to hold multiple values, then we must define arrays. We must define arrays. Only arrays can hold multiple data elements. Multiple data elements. The two, it can hold only similar type of values, similar data type of values. So here I will print, I will define the string. S equal, we define the array. So here define, so here we need to place the semicolon for ending this. So here string S equal Srini. If I want to add multiple strings, yes, I can add multiple strings. So here more string, string, so one more string is Vijay. So we can add any number of strings. In case if I try to add any numeric value, then immediately it will throw compile time error 10. So immediately it's throwing a compile time error, that is type mismatch cannot convert int to string, because this is the string. This array is the string data type. Now we are trying to convert this int into the string. So it's a throwing and compile time error, that is type mismatch cannot convert into string. So what could you understand by this? We can, the array can hold similar data type values. It can hold only homogeneous values. It doesn't allow heterogeneous values. It doesn't allow heterogeneous values. Okay, so since it is integer type, it can hold only the numeric values. It is string data type, so it can hold only the string values. So it cannot hold heterogeneous type. It can hold only homogeneous. Duplicate local variables. This is expected this token. This is constant can only be used in instance. To pass this index. Yeah, I'm trying for this. You see here, I have created an array, an array object. This is the array object integer. It's a integer a1 equal new integer of 1. It is the size of an array. This is an size of an array. The size of an array is 1. The size of an array is 1. So now the size is 1, but later I am assigning for 0th index, for first index and for second index. So I'm keep on increasing the size. So when I increase the size, then at the time of increasing, there will be no problem. But at runtime, it will throw an exception, that is array index out of bound exception. So here see exception in threadmine java.lang.array index out of bound exception 1. So the actual size is 1, but here we are trying to assign 3 values. So in case if I remove these, then if I run as Java application, so 1 and 1. The value is 1 and 1. So what's this value? 1 is, this is the length. length. For length, it is giving 1. So then the output is also 1. And as Java application. So it's printing 1 because here I have assigned 1. So if I assign 10, yes, it will print it 10. Now I am trying to assign one more value for this array, that is for first index. For first index I am assigning 20. I am assigning 20. Then if I run it now, run as Java application. Now see java.lang.array index out of bound exception, because here the size we assigned is 1. The size we assigned is 1. It means that it can hold, this array can hold only one element. It cannot hold more than one element. In case if I put it as 2, so the size of this A1 is 2. So it can hold 2 values. Now if I run, there will be no issues. So both values it will print. Those are 10 and 20. If I try to add one more element, then it will throw, that is for second index. So one more I am printing, that is 30. So what is the size of this array? The size of this array is 2. So A1 is 2. But now I am assigning 3 values. Actual size is 2, but I am assigning 3 values. So if I assign 3 values and if I run, then it will throw an exception, that is array index out of bound exception. So the actual size is 2, but we are assigning 3 values. So arrays are not growable dynamically. Once if you define the size, then we must give the number of elements only. How much the size has given, the same size values we have to give it. We cannot increase the size dynamically. So once we define it as a 2, yes, we can assign only 2. It can hold only 2 values. It cannot hold more than 2 values. In case if I give the size 10, so it can hold only 10. It cannot hold more than 10. In case if you try to assign the 11th value, then immediately it will throw an exception, that is array index out of bound exception. Array index out of bound exception. So arrays are fixed in size. Arrays are fixed in size. We cannot increase the size dynamically. So here there are two limitations. There are two disadvantages in arrays. One is the advantage, yes, already you know. The advantage is the arrays can hold multiple values. It's an advantage. So the actual normal variable cannot hold multiple values, whereas the arrays can hold multiple values, homogeneous values, so that a single variable A can hold 4 values. A single variable S could hold 4 strings. So but the problem here is it can hold only homogeneous values. It cannot hold heterogeneous values. So that is the disadvantage. And one more disadvantage is, once if you create the size, once if you define the size, then we cannot increase the size dynamically. We cannot increase the size dynamically. It means that at runtime we cannot increase the size. Whatever the size we define, the same size we have to give it. In case if you do not give the size for arrays, in case if you do not give the size for arrays, so it occupies the default size memory, and then now I want to add assign only one value, that is 10, then it's a waste of memory. It occupies some default memory, but if you assign only one value, then it will waste the memory. The remaining memory will waste by the object. So if you define the size, so how much size we have defined, the same size it will occupy in the memory, so that we can save the memory. We can save the memory using this arrays. Size, by defining the size, we can save the memory. As well as the arrays are faster because it's based on index. So here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 index. So if you have a index, it can retrieve fast. So now if I want to retrieve the 15th value, then I can pass the index. So the index is 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. The index of 5th is 3. So if I pass the third index, then directly it will go and fetch the third index value. In case if I do not pass the index, if I give 50, then how it has to search? It has to search for everywhere from first index to last index. So it will check it here. Is there 50? Not. Is there 50? No. Is it 50? No. Now finally it gets. So it will take time. If I pass the index, then directly it will go to the third index and it will fetch the value. So it is faster. Arrays are faster, so it gives a better performance. As well as the memory also. So if you specify the size, then how much memory is required, the required memory only can occupy, so it doesn't occupy much memory and it doesn't waste the memory. So for performance wise and memory utilization wise, arrays are good. But here there are some disadvantages. The disadvantages are, so it can hold only heterogeneous values. It cannot hold homogeneous values. It can hold only homogeneous values. It cannot hold heterogeneous values. It can hold only the particular data type values. Then another limitation, another disadvantage is it cannot grow dynamically. Once we define the size, then the same size of values can hold. In case if I want to increase the size dynamically, no, we cannot increase the size dynamically. It's a fixed in size. So I have a requirement that I need a single entity. I need a single object to hold the multiple values. It means, so if you consider each value as an object, so what it is doing here is, if you consider each one as a single object, so a group of objects. So here a group of objects, 10 is one object, 20 is one object, 30 is one object, and 50 is one object. A group of objects as a single entity. If you want to define a group of objects as a single entity, then we will go for the arrays concept. We'll go for the arrays concept. I have a requirement that I required a group of objects as a single entity, then I will go for the arrays. I will go for the arrays. But here there is one problem. There is one disadvantage, that is my entity can hold a group of objects but homogeneous objects only. The similar data type objects only can hold. And another problem is fixed in size. We cannot increase size dynamically. So to overcome these problems, to overcome these disadvantages, Java vendor has provided another concept, other framework, that is collection framework. That is collection framework. So the collection framework can overcome these two values. One disadvantage is it can hold only homogeneous values. Arrays can hold only homogeneous values, but collections can hold heterogeneous values. So not only similar type, that can hold any type. Other disadvantage in arrays is it's a fixed in size, whereas collections we can increase the size dynamically. Arrays are not growable dynamically, whereas collection object grows dynamically. We can increase the size dynamically. So to overcome these problems in arrays, Java vendor has provided other framework, that is collection framework. So the limitations, or the differences between the arrays and the collections, and the collection framework we'll see in the tomorrow session. What's the collection and how we will overcome, how the collection framework will overcome these disadvantages, and what's the framework. So everything we will discuss in tomorrow session. So until then, take care, bye bye, good night.